with Grandma Sandy. She's the host on YouTube, and Suffolk Susie in New York, Patricia N Cube or Pat's Garden Life in the Southern States, and Barb Dally Rural Life in Washington State. So if you've been following for a while, I've been feeding the crows in my garden. And it's been a few days since I gave them any food. They actually stopped coming to my house the last couple days. I think because the food sources have been less abundant, although they were coming here before the food, so I don't know. But I'm going to feed them today, and we're playing Russian roulette. We're giving them Temptations kitty treats, chicken catnap, and cheese flavor. And we're also going to give them a tempting tuna selection, as well as the usual collection of peanuts. But it's Russian roulette because we are changing the location of the food bowls. I'm playing Russian roulette with the crows, the kitties, and the neighbors. So this could get very interesting. Now, I hope I'm not going to create any conflict in the neighborhood by putting the kitty treats in an area where kitties might find them accessible. And I hope the neighbors don't get upset about that. But I can always move. If things don't go well, I can always sell my house and move somewhere else. So let's get started. There's lots to see in the food garden, the flower garden, and the rock garden. Things have really changed in the last week or so. So we're gonna fill up the food bowls, put these in a new spot. They are actually going out in the rock garden. And we're going to create a trail of peanuts before we start the real garden tour. So, we are going to bring the food with us, hopefully not spill the kitty treats on the way to the garden. Oh shit, I spilled them already. I'm spilling them on myself. Oopsie daisies. Okay, we're gonna flip the camera around and go on a little field trip. Where are we? Okay. Kitty treats. Now this is a balancing act. No, maybe I'll flip it again. Flip. Now I will have 4 things in my hand, maybe 5. I've got 3 containers, kitty treats, a bag of peanuts, and the cell phone. So we'll see if I don't drop anything on my way to the rock garden where the food bowls are going and the peanuts are going to get dispersed this morning. And good morning wherever you are. We are going to feed the crows to get the live stream started. So I'm going to flip the camera around now. We're in the rock garden just about. This is what it looks like. If you're new here, this is my newly constructed rock garden. And there has been a tragedy, which you might see on camera. We're going to talk about that a little later. But first, we're going to distribute the food here for the crows. I think we're going to do them separated like this. And then we're going to put out a trail of peanuts. Good morning, Tyson Rat. Welcome. We are feeding the local crows and potentially the local kitties if they show up. I don't think they will, but you never know on this live stream. Bill Chilling 6060, welcome. So here's the peanuts. We're going to create a trail of peanuts. And I think we're going to trail this peanuts right back into the vegetable garden area in the back garden and just see if the crows actually decide to follow the peanuts. I don't know what they're going to do, but we'll see what happens. They haven't been in my area the last 48 hours. They really haven't been around, which is kind of unusual because usually they're here whether there's food or not. So I don't know what's up with them these days. Maybe someone else started feeding them too. That could be possible. I feel like Hansel and Gretel right now, feeding the crows. putting out breadcrumbs. So I think I'm going to take a little bit of a gap, and then we're going to put some by the vegetable garden, and then we're going to come back and we're going to actually check out what's happening in the rock garden before we check out the action in the vegetable garden. We've got stuff happening everywhere. So just a few more peanuts out here before the tour really starts. Now, in historical videos, live streams, the crows typically show up pretty quickly when I'm not watching, and they cause chaos in the food bowls. They empty them or eat them all in like 2 hours. So we'll see what happens. I'm just throwing out the peanuts now. I'm probably going to empty this bag of peanuts and just see what happens. So if you're new here, the reason I started feeding the crows was because I have a bird bath, which we'll check out shortly. And I started putting water in it, and the crows were leaving me dead birds or other dead animals almost every day, and I didn't like it. And everyone I talked to said, you have to feed the crows, you can train them, you can teach them, they will give you nice gifts if you teach them well. So I decided to start feeding them. And so far, the nicest gifts they have given me are 1 clamshell, 1 piece of pineapple, and a partially eaten cherry. And to me, those are good gifts. I'll take those any day over dead animals. So that is what they've given me so far. And the dead animals have stopped. The most disturbing gift they gave me, which wasn't, well, they gave me a live rabbit. I did a whole video on that. I took it to the vet. I actually did intervene in that situation. It was being attacked right in front of me, but I do think the bunny's gonna recover. It was a baby bunny. But let's start the tour. Garden tour Saturday. Now, a tragedy has just happened. This is my apple tree, and if you've been around for a while, it didn't look like this a little while ago. I keep telling you guys I need to thin my apples, and I have been, but between the wind and my not fitting them properly, this is what happened. Now, this is not savable. I'm actually going to cut this off. It's unfortunate. I can't actually rip it off. It's still attached. But this is what happens if you have an abundance of apples on a tree that is too small for the weight. I'm not joking. This is probably 15 pounds in my hand of apples and branches. So if you have an apple tree, you really, or any fruit tree, need to thin your fruit. This is not the first time this has happened to me. I had a property for 10 years before this, and I had a plum tree. 1 year, it was only a 3-year-old tree. It probably had about 2,000 plums on it. And at the end of the season, 50% of the tree was broken because I did not take off enough plums. And the tree never really recovered. Like 8 years, 10 years later, it was producing like 5-10 plums at a time instead of thousands, because half the tree was damaged in that incident. So this is unfortunate, but it's not the end of the world. I think the tree will recover. So that is what's happening, and I'm not going to waste these apples. I mean, they're not ripe, but I have eaten some already. I'll eat another one. And they're not bad. All things considered, these apples, even though they have a long way to be actually truly ripe or mature, they don't taste too bad. They are a little tart, and that's okay. Probably gonna bake something with them. Thank you for subscribing, Billy, or Bing King 6060. They're a little tart, but that's all right. I'll probably make muffins, pie, or probably muffins or pie with them. So that's the plan. They won't be wasted. So let's just take a general look at what's happening in the rock garden. Sorry, I'm trying to swallow, and I don't really want to talk with my mouth full. I do sometimes, but it's not that polite, so I shouldn't really. This is my little wild card heart in the garden, and there's so much happening here. This is called borage, and these are actually edible flowers. I did do a taste test. Oh, I'm sorry, there's a lag. I don't know if that's my internet connection or YouTube. YouTube has been doing weird stuff lately. They've changed formats. I'm getting a lot of glitches on YouTube, so that could be what's happening. I apologize. I have no control over that though, unfortunately. So this is borage. Flowers are edible. They taste like cucumbers. Really gorgeous. The bees really enjoy them. Let's see if I can show you a bee. There's a really pretty bee over here. Just going for the flower. Oh, you can't really see it. And there's all kinds of stuff growing in here. I didn't know if this was gonna work out, this one flower bed, because it was made of mostly recycled grass, but it turned out pretty well actually. There's Nepeta growing in here, yarrow, some alyssum that I planted from seed. I've got lupins that have not flowered yet. These are grown from seed. There's some California poppies, which are doing quite well. Another favorite of the bees. In the middle, there is a fig tree. And there are lots of peas growing attached to my fig tree, and that was intentional. These are edible peas. Thank you for subscribing, Nits Muser. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. I do come out here every day and have a snack on the peas. I've got more peas than I know what to do with right now, but they are wonderful little snacks when you're outside in the garden. There's actually what I believe is baby's breath in this little garden as well. I planted wildflowers here and they're just starting to bloom now. And the wildflowers are over here too. A lot of them are small, but in a month or two, this garden is going to be full of wildflowers. This is actually my favorite so far. You can't really see them open, but this is kind of a cream colored poppy. And it is just so pretty when the flowers are open. I don't know why they're not open right now, but there's a lot of buds on here. And then this is a mystery wildflower. I don't know what it is, but it popped up and I think it's gorgeous. Mitsama user. That's a fancy name, I like it. This here is a rock rose, not a wildflower, it's a little shrub. Very drought tolerant, and I love the pop of yellow. And over here, this is something called Nepeta. It's similar to lavender, it's more herbaceous. And it's quite beautiful, blooms for a long time, and is pretty drought tolerant. Over here, this is thyme. And this garden was actually created for cats, to try to attract cats. And I made a little sculpture in honor of the neighborhood cats. There were 2 cats that were visiting me in my garden earlier in the year. They have both disappeared. I haven't seen them in ages, but they would come fairly often. So I made this garden in honor of them. One here and one here. And yes, they were real cats, not just stone cats, but I haven't seen them in a while. This is the other kitty. This is my smoke tree bush. It hasn't bloomed yet, but I can't wait to see the flowers when it starts blooming. And these are my mints. I'm not doing a taste test today because the last time I tried it, they really didn't taste very good. They were too young and immature. So the next time I do a taste test, hopefully they taste better. But they're putting on a lot of growth, so that's exciting. And here's more of the wildflowers. We have baby's breath that is just starting to bloom. There's more baby's breath. I believe these are going to be bachelor's buttons, though they have not bloomed yet. And then I have another wildflower here. I think this is some kind of poppy that has sprouted up. And just for fun, I sprinkled a few vegetable seedlings out here, and the tomatoes actually did sprout. I don't expect them to produce anything, but I just thought it would be a fun little surprise if people walked by and saw tomatoes growing around the flowers. And there's many more wildflowers coming. These might be marigolds, they could be cosmos, I'm not really sure. But there are a lot more flowers in here that you can't really see yet. They're just so small. So give it a month and this landscape is going to look quite different. Over here, these are the California poppies. A lot of people love California poppies. It's kind of crazy from constructing this garden. When I come out here to do my watering and gardening, not every day, but a lot of days, people will literally stop their cars to tell me how much they enjoy the garden. It's kind of wild. I'm not talking one or two people. In like the time since I made this garden, it happens almost every single day, and it's multiple cars that stop. If not, people are walking by and they need to have a chat about the garden. It's kind of fun, it's kind of wild, and it's kind of nice. It's created a sense of community here in the neighborhood, and I kind of feel like the neighborhood was lacking that before. So that is really fun. So this is the collection of California poppies, and in the middle we have some gorgeous ruby colored nasturtiums that are blooming their little hearts out. This is a spirea bush that is mostly finished blooming, but there's a few little blooms left. Oh my goodness, look who showed up! I haven't seen you in so long. You're not Grayson, you're somebody else. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. You are adorable. Oh, Country Kirby, how are you? I am good. Look at the kitty. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I haven't seen a kitty here in so long. Oh my God. That just warmed my heart so much. And on the live stream, that is amazing. I don't know where it came from. I thought it was Grayson at first. Grayson was the cat that had an unsolicited sleepover with me. That's a whole other story. I didn't know this cat. Came into my house after work. I was not expecting it. I'm not a cat person, and won my heart over to the point where I've almost adopted a cat. And then this kitty just shows up just now. That is so freaking wild. I'm doing really well. How are all of you guys? I just am having the best day ever because that little kitty just showed up. That is so exciting. I swear animals are drawn to me. I don't know why, both wild animals and domesticated animals. I've always had this thing. I go in nature and animals just show up. It's really wild. So here we have a little heart with my African daisies. And you know what, guys? I don't think that kitty had any treats. I don't think the kitty even knows about the treats that I put out. It didn't come from the direction of the food bowls. So maybe Kitty's gonna come back because I'm pretty sure that kitty didn't even touch those treats I put out. Maybe more kitties are gonna show up. This is so exciting. I am like beyond excited. This is the best day ever. And this is my little rock art here. And this is a plant I haven't showed too much. This is called New Zealand flax. And it's an evergreen. I planted a whole bunch of them in winter. I got a really good deal at the garden center. Most of them died, but there's a few that are really thriving. And I really love the foliage. They give me tropical vibes. Wait, I missed it? Well, you're gonna have to rewatch the live stream if you missed Kitty. Kitty was here. I don't know if it was a full minute I had Kitty on the live stream. It literally showed up. I don't know who the kitty is. It's not Grayson, the one that had a sleepover with me back in February, I think. And it's not the other kitty that I filmed a few times, put on the channel. That was kind of a brownish color, fluffy kitty. Very skittish, but like to come around. It's not that cat. This is a new cat, and I'm so excited. And then we come over this way. This is my cactus. This is from Cactus Man. I call him Cactus Man. He's one of my neighbors. He always comes by with his little dog and we talk about the garden and the cactuses. He grows cactuses in his garden. And this was from him. This started as a single paddle and it is four times the size as when I planted it. It's crazy. And the last time Cactus Man came by, he asked if I wanted another cactus, and I said, of course, I'll take all the cactuses that I can get because I love cactuses. And then I didn't see when he showed up. I left a little note telling him where I would put the cactus, and he did deliver the cactus. and you're not going to believe. I'm going to show you where I planted it. It's temporary, but he literally gave me a monster cactus. This is by far my largest cactus. We're going to look at it a little bit later. I didn't even know how to handle the cactus, and I was blown away when I freaking saw the cactus. I'm like, oh my God, that is a mother of a cactus. So you're gonna see that cactus when we go in the back garden. It's in a temporary home. But first, let's check out a few more things in the rock garden. So these are rock rose ground covers. Now they're not blooming right now. I think I might have showed them when they were blooming. I had them at my old house and they are absolutely spectacular when they bloom. I have a whole bunch of them. They're evergreen ground covers on Vancouver Island, and they have the most beautiful reddish orange flowers when they bloom. Super drought tolerant, super good at covering weeds once they spread out. So I have a whole bunch in here, but they're gonna take a while to mature. This is a yucca plant. Super good if you have an area that you want these to spread out and be invasive. Let them do their thing. Very drought tolerant. And we've got some red poppies here. I'm just taking a short voice break. I'm gonna eat another bite of apple. If you're new here, I had a tragedy with the apple tree I showed earlier in the live stream. We can take another peek on the way back. But let's just say there were about 30 or 40 apples sacrificed by Mother Nature. So I'm just enjoying them before they become a pie or a muffin mixture. This is my poppy area and a palm tree. This is a windmill palm. You can see some of the bee action. Lots of bees in here. And these two poppies, I keep wanting to show them in videos right here. I think they're called like Tropicana or something like that. They're actually a different version of a California poppy, and they have a much more, they kind of look like the sunset when you look at the color of the flowers. But for some reason, there aren't many on here. There's a couple. Every time I come out here to make a video, the flowers are never open. So I'm just getting poor luck when I'm trying to film the videos, but they are absolutely gorgeous. The colors, it's more like a sunset kind of orangey mixed color vibes versus like the traditional California poppy vibe. I think there might be another name for them. I call them sunset. I think there is another name, but I kind of forget what it is. You love gardening and gardens. Well, welcome. You're in good company. I think many of us love gardens and gardening here. I also love nature. If you like nature, there's a lot of that here too. So we're gonna look at a little cream colored, actually it's kind of a pale orange, that one. Got traffic happening. Big truck just went by. Sorry for the noise. And then we have, this is called a pineapple sage. And it is not, no, it's a pineapple mint. It's not blooming yet, but hopefully soon it will bloom. There's some beautiful red poppies dancing in the wind. We'll take a look at the little pansies that have been blooming their hearts out for a long time. They're almost done blooming out here. Now we're going to venture back to the vegetable garden and check that out. And we're going to take a peek at the kitty bowls to see if the crows, I haven't seen or heard the crows today at all, which is really weird because they were coming around so often. But I wonder if any more kitties are going to show up. We're going to check out where we started the live stream over here. And so far, I don't see any evidence of kitties or crows. Everything looks exactly the way I left it. There's zero evidence of anyone being here. So that's kind of interesting. We're going to check the vegetable garden, probably the flower garden. And then we're going to come back out here towards the end of the live stream and see if anything has changed. If any more kitties are out here, if the crows have showed up. We'll see what's gonna happen. I don't know, it's a very quiet day except for the unexpected kitty visitor, which was so lovely. And just turn the camera around. So this is my vegetable garden section. There are 3 raised beds. These 2 are original to the property. If you're new here, I bought this property last fall. I moved on Halloween and completely renovated all 9,000 square feet in the last 8 months or so with the help of my parents. Oh, the wind is going and making strange noises that I'm just analyzing. And it's all redone. So 2 of these boxes were here originally. We rebuilt them. And the 3rd one I'm going to show you was brand new. My parents and I constructed it. And the soil is quite an interesting mix. So let's turn the camera around. This is the brand new bed. They're all raised beds, which is awesome. If you have any... Sorry guys, I pressed the wrong button. That happens to me often. And then I just like screw up the live stream. So if you're gone, that's probably why. Is that pumpkins? No, that is spaghetti squash. And we're going to do a harvest. Let me get my clippers. I have one already ready to harvest, pretty much. This is all spaghetti squash that has gone absolutely bonkers. There are pumpkins here too, but they're in a different region of the garden that we haven't looked at yet. I just got my little clippers here. And we're gonna do a harvest. I mean, in theory, I could let this one grow bigger, but I'm just gonna eat it because I'm sure it's gonna be delicious. This is the first squash I have ever harvested from this garden. Hello, James Epperly. Yeah, so this is my very first squash. I'm so excited. I'm sure it's going to be delicious. It's not massive, but at least a couple dinners. And when I cook this, what I usually do is I cut it in half, and then I put it into a bowl or a pan that you can put in the oven, and then I kind of like broil it, take it out, and then you scrape out the, what I want to call the vegetable noodles. And then what I usually do is I make a little pot of regular spaghetti noodles, and then I mix the 2 together, and then of course there's the spaghetti sauce, whatever you enjoy in spaghetti sauce. Ground beef, all the tomato-y stuff, the basil, all that goodness, cheese of course, and lots of spices, a little red pepper flakes, garlic, all the good stuff. So that's what I'm going to create with this. Probably not today, it'll probably be tomorrow, but I'm so excited. My very first squash from my new garden. That is so fun. And yes, there is more to see, but I just wanted to do that first. I have 12 varieties of pumpkin and winter squash starting in a landrace of the pumpkin variety. That is fun. I've had mixed results growing pumpkin over the years. Sometimes I can do it, sometimes I can't, and I don't know why. It should be easy to grow, but I struggle with pumpkin and watermelon for some unknown reason. Now I'm just gonna put my little squash down before we continue the tour. And we'll just check out what else is going on the spaghetti squash vines. There's a lot that are little still. So that big one was an anomaly. It's way ahead of all the other ones on here. And there's a lot of flowers still. It was just for some reason, it grew really early. I don't know why. But the plants are going absolutely bonkers here. There's tomatoes mixed into the mix. They are just going absolutely wild. So the thing, I think I didn't mention it yet. I was about to mention it, got distracted. This is all sheep manure in here. So sheep manure and recycled grass clippings from digging out this whole garden. What you saw, the rock garden, was all weeds and grass. That was all dug out by me and my parents this year. And the remnants were put into decompose as dirt. And I mixed it with sheep manure from a local farm down the road. And I used both aged and unaged sheep manure. And the plants have never been happier. I mean, there's no difference between, like, you can't even compare this garden to the garden that's happening over here. We've got a completely different amount of goodness happening here versus here. Like, these plants are absolutely on fire with growth. I've used so many manures over the years, and I have to say sheep manure is like top of the top for the growth that I've seen compared to chicken manure, horse manure, mushroom manure, rabbit manure. I think I've used cow manure before. The sheep manure is by far the superstar of the whole pack here. I can't tell you how many tomatoes are on these plants because I pretty much have a jungle happening of tomato plants. It is so wild. I should probably come in and actually do a massive pruning in there, but I just haven't done that yet. And I also need some more staking systems. They're just gone so crazy in here. Here we have, this is a mystery squash plant, and I don't know what it is, but there's no squash on it yet. And then in here, we have, where did it go? Oh, this. I think this is a cantaloupe that sprouted, but I'm not 100% certain. No flowers yet. More mystery squash, a ton of tomatoes here, there, and everywhere. And in the middle, I do think somehow I ended up with a cucumber, which I may or may not have planted in here. I don't even know. I didn't put any plants. Seeds may have ended up in here, potentially. I'm not even sure. But I think I have a couple cucumber plants, which is awesome because my original cucumbers passed away. They're flowering, but no cucumbers yet. Coming over this way, these are my lettuces. Now they may not look good, but I've actually eaten a lot. So what I've been doing is I actually cut this part off on all of them, and I eat this section, which you might think is bitter, but it actually is not bitter at all. And then I preserve the life of the plant. I don't have to replant it because it regrows every single time. And every time it regrows, it gets bigger, which is awesome. So I don't know why, because in the past when I've grown lettuce, it's gotten bitter in the heat. Whatever reason, these have not gotten bitter, and we have had quite a bit of heat on and off. So I am thinking these are pretty superstar lettuce plants. I'm not even sure what variety it is, but they are pretty delicious. Now, on the flip side of that, my Swiss chard has gone completely wild with what's going to be flowers. I stopped trying to fight the flowering because it's going to flower. I'm still eating it here and there, but I'm really going to let it flower at this point. And then this is my favorite spinach of all time. Excuse me. And yes, I said spinach. I had never heard of this. This is something called purple mountain spinach. It's a perennial spinach, and there is no comparison, both with taste and the way that the plant grows, the vigorousness, super drought tolerant, and it's never bitter. We have had 30 degrees many times Celsius. This does not get bitter, and it is so good. And the other thing about it, which I absolutely adore, it doesn't wilt. Like if you get spinach in the grocery store, even homegrown sometimes, put it in the refrigerator for like say a week, and it's not going to be very good. This in the fridge for a week feels like it was just picked. It is absolutely amazing. And there's such an abundance. I've had full salads of just this. So this comes in different colors. It comes in this dark purple. It comes in an olive green. Let's see if I can see those. These are more of a kind of an olivey color. And this is all spinach. It is absolutely wild. And it's almost 5 feet tall. I have never ever in my life seen spinach like that. Like this is just bonkers and so delicious. Highly recommend if you ever come across it. I literally found this at a local grocery store in the plant section. I wasn't even really looking for it. It was there and I bought it. And I have no regrets. Next, we're going to check out the cactus. It's right here. And this thing, you might not think it's a monster. It's actually falling over. It is actually taller, but it kind of can't support the weight of how big it is. So I might actually trim off some of the petals and start them as separate cactuses because it's kind of too big, essentially, for where it is. It's not staying in the vegetable garden, but no one here today. Hi, I just got here. Can you repeat everything from the beginning? Well, I cannot repeat the whole live stream. So in a nutshell, I started the live stream feeding the crows. If you're brand new here, I've been feeding my crows for many different reasons. My crows, they're not my crows. They're wild crows. put food out. A cat showed up, so that was kind of fun. And we looked at the rock garden. We checked out what's going on out there. And we checked out my apple tree that Mother Nature butchered. Leah, rewind. I'm doing a quick rewind. If you really want the whole deal, when the live stream is finished, just rewatch it. I always repost them. When the live stream is done, they'll be public to watch again if you really want to know what happened at the beginning. And now we're checking out the vegetable garden. And then at the end of the live stream, we're going back to check out the food bowls that I left out for the crows to see if anything happened and the trail of peanuts I put out for them. I haven't seen them at all today, which is very unusual. So let's continue. So this is the monster cactus that the cactus man delivered the other day. And he delivered it on a day that was, I want to say, over 30 degrees Celsius. And I did not want to put it in the rock garden. I thought it was going to get scorching hot and just die right away. So instead I put it into the vegetable garden. And let me tell you, this is a hard to handle cactus. These are extremely sharp. Now, even a couple pairs of gloves makes it difficult to handle. I was trying to handle it without touching it using shovels and what do we call pruning shears, like to have it kind of as almost like tongs. It's very tricky, but I do love the cactus, and it will end up in the rock garden with the other one in a different spot when the weather cools off, but not right now. It is still too warm. I don't want it to die right away. I know, I was telling him. Okay. Yeah, so that's what the story of this cactus is. I have a neighbor down the street that originally gave me a cactus I have growing in the rock garden. I call him the cactus man. I don't remember his real name. I have met so many neighbors and I don't remember any of their names. But that's okay, because there's so many of them that stop and chat about the garden. There's no way I could remember everybody's name. But I have nicknames for many of them. So let's check out the flower garden now. There's a few new developments over there. I just noticed this. We've got another spaghetti squash happening here. Now, I had somebody ask about the pumpkins. We're about to see the pumpkins. Well, I don't know if there's pumpkins, but this is a pumpkin vine. So I'm going to tell you the story of this flower garden. Now, this was all grass, just like most of the other parts of the garden. And when I constructed it, I went to a horse farm in December. It was very cold, and I got a whole bunch of free unaged horse manure. So what I did was, you can see some of it here sticking out of the mulch. I buried, basically, some of the grass was dug out, some of it had cardboard lined, and then it was covered in a thick layer of horse manure before the black mulch went on top. I love all these beautiful gardening. Good job, Miss Green Thumb. Thank you so much. So, I have a feeling the plants love horse manure. Now, sheep manure is a whole other league compared to horse manure. But that being said, check out the pumpkin plant. It is absolutely massive, as are some of the other plants in here. And I do think that is a direct result from the horse manure that is still peeking through. My roses are very happy, except for a tiny bit of mildew start to happen. I don't know why. Lots of flowers though. Let's look at the pumpkins. So there have been lots of flowers, but I don't know if they got pollinated yet. And this is just one plant. Now, I'm assuming you don't need 2 plants for pumpkins. I might have made a wrong assumption with that. And if I am wrong, then I should get another one, because this is a massive plant and I'm hoping I get at least 1 pumpkin from it. So in the corner, what you see are sunflowers, raspberries, loganberries, peas, and many other flowers. We're going to venture over there through the jungle. This is actually a pear tree. Only 3 pears. It's brand new, planted in November. It's a multi-variety. There were lots of flowers, but only 3 fruits, and that's totally fine. They're not ripe. They're not even close to being ripe, but that's all right. I'm sure they'll be good. Lots and lots of peas growing on the pear tree. And these are seaside daisies. More seaside daisies. And then we have raspberries. Now, I neglected these raspberry plants pretty severely because I was doing too much other gardening stuff and I didn't water them enough. I've trimmed off a lot of the dead. Now, they did have raspberries on them. I ate a few raspberries, but a lot of them, unfortunately, I didn't realize there were berries on the bush and they kind of rotted before I ate them. But that happens sometimes. So I do think they'll produce some more, but it's going to take a while. And they do have peas growing on them. Right here is my very, very first sunflower in this garden. It's so exciting. I did not intend for it to be facing this part of the fence, but flowers will bloom the way they want to bloom. And the sunflower chose to face the direction where it is not visually seen from the windows. But that's okay. It's going to have multi-varieties. But the funny thing about these sunflowers, these were supposed to be miniature dwarf sunflowers. It was a mixed package, and I'm pretty sure these are not miniatures. Like if we do, I'm gonna get a little closer to these sunflowers. If I can get in here. We're gonna do a little height comparison. This is ground level. I am 5'4". Now, if this was a miniature sunflower, I'm having my doubts because this is probably almost 5 feet tall. I don't think it's a miniature. I think they mislabeled the package once again. That's happened to me many times over the years. Mislabeled seed packages are very, very common. You have so many good plants in your garden. Yes, I have a lot of plants. I'm a plant person. Thank you very much. And I do love plant people. So we have some liatris that is starting to bloom. Snapdragons are blooming. There's going to be a lot more flowers coming soon. And this is my famous bird bath where all of the crow action started. I clean it out pretty much every day and give them fresh water, and sometimes twice a day because usually they make it so messy with all the things they put in there. But lately, I did a video, or maybe a couple of videos, where I showed the crows actually took a bath in the bird bath, and that was the first time I have ever seen that. They didn't contaminate the water. They actually didn't put any food or dead things in the water, and it stayed clear, and they were taking baths. There was 3 of them bathing together, and it was so fun to watch. So I love that. I think it's because I'm feeding them different foods now, and they're actually taking advantage of the bird bath and using it for bathing instead of putting their various snacks in it. Yes, I love sunflowers too. I think they're just such a cheerful flower. Everybody should grow sunflowers if the climate allows them to. And they bring so much joy to people who see the flowers too. And this is one of my favorite roses. It's a miniature rose. I didn't plant this. It actually came on this property when I bought it. It's called a rainbow. Oh man, I always forget the name. It's a rainbow something or other. I put it in one of my videos, but I love how the colors are so varied when they have different stages of development. We've got yellows and pinks, more pale pinks, more fuchsia pinks. It's just a really lovely mix of colors we've got going on. This here is alyssum, and I keep telling myself I'm going to research if alyssum is an edible flower, and I keep forgetting to do it. If you're new here, I do a lot of edible flower taste tests. I haven't tried alyssum yet. I did snapdragons a few times over the years and many, many other flowers. And get this, sunflowers are edible, completely edible. And I'm not talking the seeds, I'm talking the entire flower. I made a whole video on how to do that, a short and a long video. You can barbecue them, you can put them in the oven and roast them, and they are absolutely delicious. You put, say, a little bit of olive oil, butter, lots and lots of garlic, potentially other seasonings if you like other seasonings. And when I tried them, both the texture and the taste, I was comparing it to like a vegetarian version of steak. That might be a stretch for some people, but I truly wonder why more restaurants and other things like that haven't adopted things like edible flowers. Squash flowers are supposed to be delicious. I haven't not seen that in my life. Or like a food truck that specializes in edible flowers. There's so many possibilities with edible flowers the world has not gotten into, or I just haven't seen it myself. But If you know of any vendors, whether they are in your area or other areas that specialize in edible flowers, let me know, because I'm really curious. I never knew that I would try a sunflower. When I visit my mom, she has some in her garden. Well, you can watch my video, or there's other videos on YouTube about how to cook and eat a full sunflower. That's how I got inspiration on Facebook. Somebody posted in my local garden group that I follow all the time about how to cook and eat a full sunflower head, and I was like, I didn't know you could do that. And then I had to do it, and I had to film it because I was like, this is so cool. And then when it tasted so delicious, I was like, this is amazing. How come the world does not know about edible sunflowers? I mean, people do know that one other YouTube video has, I think, around 1 million views. Mine has like maybe a couple hundred, but it's something that I think more people need to know about, more people need to try. And I do wonder how much nutritional value is in eating flowers. Sweet potato flowers are edible. I have not tried those, but I also haven't been able to grow sweet potatoes. Cucumber flowers, I have eaten those. Those are delicious. Pea and bean flowers, I've eaten both of those as well. And you know something, roses are edible. And I wasn't prepared to do a taste test today, but I will do one soon. The fun thing about eating roses, if you're into edible flowers, is that each variety has a very different taste. So if you eat, say, 2 different red ones, maybe put a yellow one or white one in the mixture, they'll all taste very different. Now that is not the same for all edible flowers. If you eat, say, pansies, you have a purple pansy, a white pansy, a yellow pansy, they pretty much taste identical. But with roses in particular, they each have a very unique flavor, which makes doing a taste test so much fun and so interesting. And you know, I think it would be so fun for someone to open a restaurant that is like specializing in edible flowers, and you could even have like a mystery night where it's all about flower taste tests and you don't know what's going to come on the menu. I think that would be so neat. I am not a restaurant person. I don't even like cooking, but I think it would be such a fun concept. So there's some calendula flowers. And let's see what else is growing in the garden. These are some of my roses that I am growing from a cutting from my last property. This is a white Mayland rose. These are gorgeous in bouquets. I want to try rose flowers. You should, absolutely. But that being said, if you are ever taste testing flowers, do your research, make sure you know what you are taste testing, and also make sure the flowers have not been sprayed with pesticides. That is a big thing. I personally know what I'm taste testing. I grow all of my own flowers. Sometimes they're from seed. Sometimes they've been in my garden for like 10, like my old property, they were in my garden for like 10 years. I know exactly that those flowers are fine to eat, but I don't want anyone getting sick, not taking enough safety precautions. So do your research. If you're going to eat flowers, know what you're eating and where it's coming from. That's all I can say about that, but do your own safety precautions. But certainly experiment. If you could live in any zone, what zone would you live in? That is a very good question. I don't know. I've only ever gardened so Vancouver Island is where I live, and the area that I live is central. And if you ask different gardeners, what zone is this, you get very different responses. People will say anywhere from zone 7 to zone 9. I'm going to estimate this is a zone 8. So what is my ideal zone? I don't know. I would like to try other climates. I have thought about desert gardening would be kind of fun, but I don't know. I've never moved anywhere else, so I can't really say if I'd prefer that. Maybe even a tropical climate might be nice. This is just all I know, so I don't really know what other climates I would like to garden in or prefer to garden in. What zone are you in? What zone are all of you in? And what country are you in? I'm really curious. I have viewers from around the world. In terms of who watches my videos most often, it is Americans, followed by Canadians, followed by British people, which is kind of interesting. And then there's people from other countries like India, Philippines, a lot of Europeans in just different regions, but it's a very small percentage of the viewers. It's mostly Americans, followed by Canadians, followed by UK people. So that is who the audience is, and all ages, ranging from 5 to, I can't remember how low YouTube goes. I think it's like 5 to 17, 17 to 25, 25 to 35. I can't remember. The most viewers are in the middle categories, from like the 20 somethings to 30 somethings, and then the 40 somethings to 50 somethings. Then I have some older ones and some a lot younger ones. So there was one live stream I did, and there were people making some very inappropriate comments, and I want to ban them if they ever show up again, because it's all ages. I have little nieces that watch once in a while have found my videos. I don't think their parents want them to, but they do sometimes watch my videos. And I don't want any young person to watch and be like, what the heck is this person saying? So I do take offense to when these comments come in that are super inappropriate. I try to get rid of them right away, because it's supposed to be for everyone to watch, and I don't want someone's mind to be contaminated at such a young age. Trying to grow mangoes this year in 11B in Florida. That is super exciting. I would never be able to grow mangoes here. I did have lemons I was growing at my old property. They were on my lemon tree and my lime tree. Actually, it was more limes than lemons. But unfortunately, I did some silly decisions and they all passed away. We won't get into what happened, but there is a YouTuber on Vancouver Island, Food Forest Permaculture. He lives in Victoria. His name is Howie. He has a whole YouTube channel on permaculture, and he grows lemons like nobody's business. Very inspirational. So if you're into growing lemons or limes on Vancouver Island citrus fruit, check out his channel. Very, very inspiring. I'm trying to grow mangoes, yes. Any special things you're doing trying to grow the mangoes? In a greenhouse, or can you just grow them outside in your area? I'm going to turn the camera around. We're gonna actually check out my hydrangeas. This is the first time in my whole life I've ever been able to grow hydrangeas. My last property had very little water year round, and there was no way in heck I could have ever grown a hydrangea. So this is so exciting that I can actually grow them here, and they're about to flower. This little bird is so close. The camera doesn't capture it, but it's like just a few feet away from me. I just noticed it. I'm like, what is it doing? It's like right there, just sitting and watching me live stream. And then we've got more hydrangeas over here that are about to bloom. This is yarrow. And then this tiny baby hydrangea has just started blooming, and I think the flower is just so sweet and adorable. And we've got some blueberries. And look at it, it has not flown away. It's like literally like just sitting. I've got the camera pretty close. We're gonna zoom in a little more. It just chirping its little heart out on the fence. And it's got some kind of food or something in its beak. Now, I'm kind of surprised these little birds are showing up, because the crows are really vicious and they have killed so many small birds, but I guess this is a brave little guy. But again, the crows have not shown up today, and I don't know why. It's been about 24 hours since I've seen them. Highly unusual. We're gonna go check and see if they had any of the food I put out for them earlier in the live stream. Those are very pretty plants. The little bird was saying hi. Yes, I guess it was. Just like the kitty that stopped by. That was so unexpected earlier. And I'm really curious if any other creatures are gonna show up when we go check on the food bowls. This is like live entertainment for me too. This is better than TV, seeing these little creatures show up. I don't know what to expect. Like, I never know what to expect when I go outside. I am often shocked by Mother Nature or by the neighborhood animals that sometimes show up. When I first moved here and I was gardening outside, there was this dog. I think it moved away, but that's beside the point. It would escape from its home, which was a kind of diagonally across the street from me. And apparently the only place it would escape to was me and my garden when it got the chance. And it would run zoomies. It was like a black lab mix in my garden. It was just so fun and so full of joy, and I just loved the visits from the dog. And I know the owners always gave it heck when it escaped, but I was always like, I'm so glad you came over. I really enjoyed you. But here we have the food bowl, and I don't think a single creature has been here. It doesn't look like it. The food looks completely untouched in both of the bowls, and I don't think anyone has even taken peanuts from here yet. This is really, really weird. I don't know what to say about that, but something strange is going on with the crows. This is my hebe plant, first time it's ever bloomed. Pretty nice little lavender flowers. And this is what I showed at the beginning of the live stream. Mother Nature is trying to teach me lessons I should have learned already. At my last place, something similar happened with a plum tree. This is a small tree, and that's about 15 pounds of apples right there. Too much weight. And Mother Nature took care of that for me, so I do have some work to do here. And I need to save my tree. So I think that is all I have for you for this live stream. Thank you so much for watching. The little bird was saying hi, like the rocky pathway looks nice in the garden. Thank you. I hope you guys all have a lovely day, evening, or night wherever you are, and we'll see you soon in another video. Bye-bye.